guys, and welcome back to Hilltop Farm. We're having a coffee break. Do you like my new cup? Can you see it? Not sure if you can see it. It says housework won't kill you, but why take the chance? I'm sure there's a lot of you out there that subscribe to that. Now, I want to talk to you about where I've been. Yes, I can see you all waving out there saying, who's this person? We haven't seen this person for about 5 weeks. Who is this? Yes, it is me, and I am still alive. And you're right, it has been a long time. I'll be honest with you, I got a bit disheartened with YouTube. Not for the same reason everyone else is. Everyone else is disappointed because of AdSense and money and all the rest of it. My little channel doesn't earn anything as yet. I'm still waiting to get the certain number of views you have to get for that to happen, and even if it did, that's not why I'm doing it. So that's not my issue. My issue is I watch other YouTubers. I watch YouTubers in this genre, being the genre of sort of homesteading, that kind of thing. But there are other genres I follow. People that breed rabbits and dogs, and do other gardeners. They're not necessarily homesteaders or reach self-sufficiency. They might just be gardeners or whatever. There are some people I follow just because they make me laugh and I find them entertaining. And they might do, a lot of them do vlogs, occasionally daily vlogs. They'll have a little time, if you like. A lot of them do this vlogmas thing at Christmas where they do a daily vlog. But anyway, even those that are like me, that put out a few videos a week and what have you, I've noticed with myself that over time you get to know these people, and these people, they're not friends as such, but I guess they become part of your life, because part of my life, I don't watch TV. In fact, I don't think our TV's even hooked up to an aerial. I don't know, we don't use it. We watch DVDs and things like that, but most of the time of an evening I watch YouTube. So I have all my regular people that I'm subscribed to that I watch, and I've noticed, particularly this year, because of the whole AdSense thing and the money issue, I've noticed that a lot of creators have either stopped creating at all, or they've scaled right down. I mean, some put out like a video once every few months. As I say, some stopped completely. There's a couple that have actually had relationship breakups, and they have stopped because of that. Now, although I understand that, and I'm not criticising them for doing that, I'm making the point that when that happens, as someone who follows their channel and in many ways their lives, their journey, you feel that sense of loss. And even if it's, even recently, there's been a few YouTubers that have gone over, sort of homesteading YouTubers that have gone over to Patreon, and rather than put out 2, 3, 4, 5 videos a week, they put out 1 a week, 1 a fortnight, something like that, and all their other videos are for their Patreon people only. Now, I have a couple of people that I subscribe to, and I belong to their Patreon, because I happen to like them in particular. I like their channel. I like what they're doing. In fact, I'm going to give a quick plug to Bredenwood Farm. I'll put a link in the description below. But it's a guy in England. He and his husband live in London, and they've got a sort of small holding, sort of just an hour or so away, that they ultimately plan to move to. But it's 30 odd acres, and some of it they're going to farm, but the rest of it they're trying to return from farming land back to a more natural state. They're trying to like plant one of the fields with wildflowers. They're trying to extend the natural forest. They're rejuvenating a pond. They're doing all that sort of thing. Putting up owl boxes, nesting boxes and things like that. So I actually subscribe to them and am part of their Patreon. Because I think it's a worthwhile cause. They're not just, they don't have Patreon as an income so much as to help fund their their rejuvenation of their farm. So it's more of a nature thing. So yeah, if you want to check them out, go and have a look, because it's a brilliant channel and they're doing wonderful things, those guys. So very entertaining. And at the moment, because they live in London, they've got their chickens and their vegetables and flowers and all in a suburban block, and it's a very small suburban block, but they're doing it, so you should go and check it out. It's pretty good. But anyway, my point is, a lot of people have gone over to that, and so where I'm used to watching, there's a couple of homesteaders in particular that I used to really thoroughly enjoy. I respected them and I watched them all the time. But what I can afford to give on Patreon is only so much. I can't do it to all of them. So I only see one video a week, one video a fortnight from these people, and the video, quite frankly, that they do put up is not along the lines of what it used to be. And I'm not quite as interested. So, and you feel that, you feel the loss. And I thought, well, before my channel gets to the size where I have a following of people that are going to feel like me, if I suddenly decide one day I don't want to do it, I need to really think about it. Is this something that... It's alright. Leo, one of our Papillon boys, probably spotted one of the ducks through the back door. No, he's alright now. Because I don't want my followers to feel how I've felt on many occasions this year, as one by one YouTubers fall by the wayside. And I thought, no. I've thought about it, and I thought, no, I am going to keep going, and I'm going to battle on. I don't know what the future holds, but I have decided, if I decide one day in 10 years' time or whatever, I don't want to do this anymore, then I won't just stop. I will tell you guys what's going on, I will tell you how I feel, and I will probably still put out a video a couple of times a year, maybe Christmas and Easter or something, just to give you all a life update. Anyone who's interested in still following, get a life update, see what I'm doing, see where my family are at. Yeah, and so you're not totally left in the lurch. So that's basically what I've decided to do. So in future we will be battling on. If I feel burnt out at any time, I'll tell you, and if I decide I'm going to take a week off, a month off, I'll tell you. and I'll tell you what date I'm going to be back, and I will be back on that date. Because as I say, I've become very disillusioned with a lot of the people I'm following, and I do not want to become one of those YouTubers. So I want you to know, basically, if you sign on with me, yeah, I'm going to be here for the long haul. So that's basically where we're at. Now, apart from having noisy puppies today, there's one problem with breeding dogs, is you have a house full of them and they don't cooperate when the camera's on. What am I talking about? They don't cooperate anytime. Okay, so what's next? Okay, coming up, there's going to be continuation of the Great Chicken Experiment. If you remember, we had grabbed some eggs roadside for just, you know, buy eggs for your kitchen, and we incubated them. So in that, we'll be telling you what happened with them, what's going on out in the hen house, and what we plan to do with all those. Remember, we had a real mixture of mixed chickens and bantams and all that. We'll be letting you know how they're getting on and what we're doing with them. So keep an eye out for the Great Chicken Experiment. That video is coming out in the coming days. Also, unbelievable news. Those of you that know anything about ducks will know that Indian runner ducks are notorious for not being good parents and not incubating their eggs. They very rarely will incubate eggs through to hatching. They get bored halfway through and wander off. And if they do hatch them out, you know, you're lucky if they actually rear any to adulthood. I've heard of cases where they've hatched out a whole clutch of eggs and literally just got up and walked away and totally ignored them. I've heard others where, you know, they'll kill them, and others where they're just so neglectful you're lucky if you have one or two survive. Well, our duck Josephine, she has been determined since spring started that she was going to hatch out a clutch of eggs. Now, we've hatched out 2 clutches of her eggs in the incubator, and my mother loves duck eggs, so she takes the others to eat. But every now and then we think she's stopped laying, and you sort of think, what's going on? Why is she not laying? And you'll find them somewhere out there, and she's built a nest, and, you know, and we've been taking them away from her, and so she gets the pups and sulks for a few days, and then she starts laying eggs again, and then she'll find somewhere else. Anyway, she'd stopped laying eggs, and we sort of wondered what was going on. Sure enough, my daughter found her happily sitting on these eggs. And the difference being, in the past, she was just starting to accumulate the eggs, and whenever we found them, there'd be 3 in the nest, 4 in the nest, this sort of thing. But this time she was actually sitting on them, so we left her to it. And to hear the rest of this story, you're going to have to look out for the next episode of Across the Duck Pond, which is coming out also this week, and you'll find out what happened and what's going on with Josephine. Okay, what else? The Papillon Diaries will be starting up again sooner than you realise. Young Audrey is pregnant. She is probably, I think I worked out earlier, she's the equivalent to about a 4-month pregnancy in human equivalent. I generally give that because if I ever tell people how many days or weeks pregnant they are, it doesn't really mean anything to most people. So I have a converter so that you can say to people she's the equivalent to a human, whatever, and then they know what you mean. So she's equivalent to about 16, 17 weeks in human pregnancy. So coming up to halfway, not quite. And it's her first litter. Rolly is the dad. And that was going to be our first litter. Well, it is going to be our first litter. They're due on the 17th of January. Everything else I think is going on schedule here. I know ages ago I did talk to you guys about I'm going to do a series with my mother, talking about you know, life when she was a child and going through wartime London and emigrating to Australia back in the 60s and all that, and I still intend to do that, and I'm going to be starting that series. I'm probably going to start filming possibly as early as next week, but certainly the week after. But I plan to start releasing that series, and I don't know how many is going to be in the series. It could only be a couple of episodes, depending on how well it goes. It could be 10 episodes. I have no idea until it starts rolling out how it's going to go. But that will be happening, and it'll start coming out in January. So yes, apart from that, that's all. I think that's all I have to share with you for this coffee break. I hope you're all well. And yeah, I hope you're getting ready for Christmas. It's not far away now. So, until next time, it's goodbye from Hilltop Farm. See ya!